Welcome to the next episode of the podcast. It has been over a month, Kevin. Well, longer than that since you and I have podcasted. I podcasted with Corey. We did the wrestling and martial art, and you went to Florida 2 months ago.
Yeah,
so it's been a long time.
It's been a while. Yeah,
it's been a long time since we podcast, man.
You look the same.
I looked. Yeah, you
Fatter.
maybe put on a pound or two. You know,
I didn't take it off. I know that much.
The camera adds 15, but in your case, 20. It's fine. Anyway, nice shirt. You got the what is that, Irish? Yeah.
Shirt.
Clover. Fine. Rocking the Carlson Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu shirt. You guys will come to notice that Kevin will never rep Jiu-Jitsu. Pretty much because he hates it. If you remember the podcast, we talked about him hating Jiu-Jitsu. He never rocks it ever.
I love Jiu-Jitsu. It's the people that do Jiu-Jitsu I don't like.
He's got this shirt that's got this like a little fat girl on it with like a little bikini. She got a little like red bikini, and it's one of those shirts. Like, so the title of this podcast is Jiu-Jitsu Pet Peeves. And pet peeves of a shirt is ones that have different color like trimmings around it. And it's a white shirt with this chubby fat chick on it who's got this little bikini on, and it's got black rims around it, the sleeves and the neck.
Collar. Yeah.
Not a fan. Not a fan at all.
Well, it's really about the image that's on the shirt.
Whatever, not a fan.
That's my going out shirt.
I always feel like you should be high on meth when you wear that shirt, because that's the kind of shirt people who are high on meth wear.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay. So, Jiu-Jitsu pet peeves is the topic for today. And there are a lot. Some are controversial. Some are not that controversial. Let's do it, man.
All
Let's
right.
just start throwing these out. Okay?
All right, I'll start off first.
Yes,
then.
please.
All right. So one of my biggest one is active drillers. Now, I say active drillers, and there is active drilling. There's a lot of good thing that's happening, but there's nothing worse than seeing two relatively inexperienced guys drilling a move, and one of them resisting.
Balling harder,
even resisting like 70, 80%, 50%. It's like, hey, this is an advanced move you've never seen before. Let me make sure I resist it as hard as I can before you hit right off the bat. And I hate when I watch it. And it's two pet peeves. One, the people doing it are stupid. I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, the fact that no instructor says, stop fucking doing that really bothers me.
Well,
and sometimes I know they don't notice. And but we're talking about pet peeves. This doesn't necessarily have to be a legitimate gripe.
You're right.
Right? It just annoys me that I've noticed it and nobody else has. And no one else has nipped it in the bud.
We used to have a dude who we trained with who's still around. I'm not going to name drop. Who we'd be drilling a move, and then we'd learn the move, and then the instructor would do the 3-2-1 clap or 1-2-3 clap, whatever. He goes, grab a partner and let's do this. And we do one normal drill, right? We do one repetition, and then right afterwards, I'd go to do it again, and he'd go, "Can you do it when I'm defending?" And he would stop me with all of his might. And of course I can't do it when you're defending. First of all, I'm just learning this fresh, right? And even if it's something I'm good at, I'm not expecting someone to give me 150% resistance. And it's like, dude, tone your roll.
Yeah.
Relax. Take a deep breath, right? Just remember, we're trying to do this. We need muscle memory. We need repetitions. We'll active drill or live drill or do it harder later. But for right now, we're just trying to figure out the move, right? Where do I put my hands? Where do I put my feet? Where do I put my knees?
Yeah.
Right? How do I slide over you, right? What am I doing? Dude, huge pet peeve of mine.
Hate that more than anything. That's probably one of my biggest annoying.
Yeah.
Just watching guys do that. It's
huge pet peeve of mine. I put mine on my phone, guys. So if you see me looking at my phone, that's what I'm looking at.
He's bored.
Ooh. Let me go right into my first one. This one may be slightly controversial, but I don't care. Dude, I have a phobia of motherfuckers' armpits, okay? So I'm serious when I tell you guys, I hate armpits, all right? Sleeveless shirts, the devil. You'll never catch me in a wife beater. I wear tank tops out, like when the weather's nice. I don't train in those like skin tight rash guards that stop at the shoulder, because you're bound to get some armpit. I don't train with my shirt off. None of us do train with our shirt off, right? I mean, for me, you can at a tournament, you can in MMA, all of that's fine and dandy. If you're at a grappling event, do it with your shirt off. That's how you like to roll. But in the gym, it's not our thing. And I'm afraid. Okay.
Armpit sweat is nasty. I would agree with you.
It is.
You gotta have your face dripping on my face, all over my gi and stuff. Yeah. I would agree. Armpit sweat. There's something different about it because I'm fighting for my underhooks and stuff. I don't care if it helps. I don't want to hear. I don't want that at all.
We had this dude who used to come in. He was dirty as shit, like stinky and nasty, dirty as shit. We'll get into that later. But this motherfucker used to wear one of those rash guards that cut off at the shoulder, the inner shoulder, not even the outer shoulder, right? Inner shoulder. So we used to call him the Rat King. He was fucking disgusting. Okay, he was the Rat King. You know what I mean from Ninja Turtles. You guys know what I'm talking about. So we called him the Rat King, and he used to always try to. And it was just like every time I look at him, like he like, hey, you want to roll, man? And he talked dumb too. He was one of those. Hey, you want to roll? And like Theo Vaughn, he talked like Theo Vaughn. If you know who Theo Vaughn. Anyway, this dude, I swear to God, like he worked at like a sewer plant for his whole life, and then would come fresh after the sewer plant, and in his modified rash guard, like sleeveless, like cut off rash guard with no sleeves, armpits dripping all over the place. He wasn't. We'll get into the next one, right?
Sure.
He wasn't, the most hygienic dude.
But let's highlight this. You clean motherfuckers too. Wear long sleeve, short sleeve.
Wear long sleeve, short sleeve,
whatever.
Right?
Yeah, cover the
just
armpits.
not no sleeve.
I don't care if you clean. You get a shower just beforehand. Put piles of deodorant on. No
Dude,
sleeve.
especially dudes, right? Armpit hair is nasty. We don't, pride ourselves in unshaven arm hair like chicks do. Dude, take proper precautions, right? Wear deodorant, preferably antiperspirant. Right? I mean, listen, this is a...
No. Just cover up your armpits.
This
That's all
is
I'm
a fucking
asking.
PSA, bro. Handle that shit.
You're going to sweat no matter what. Just cover up your armpit.
This guy right here bothers me.
Cover up your arm.
My heart hurts.
That's it.
Cover up.
Yeah. All right. So
do it.
This is, I said the first one was my one of my. This one's probably up there. The one was 1 and 1A, right?
Yeah.
It's motherfuckers who So everybody knows. Well, not everybody knows. When we go to a roll, we do the high five and pound. For those of you don't know, right? We do the high five.
Slap bump, bitches.
See that little bump there? Motherfuckers who want to bump
again.
hard.
I just missed.
Like,
do it again.
Like,
got it. Yep.
Like hard fist bumps at the end of that, right?
Yep. Uh-huh.
I hate those motherfuckers. All of them. And then this is going to open you out because now everybody's going to be knuckle punching me as hard as they can.
You got like delicate knuckles?
I've got delicate knuckles.
Okay.
But not only that, we're about to roll. We're about to roll hard.
We're about to fight.
We're about to fight.
Death.
Well, whether we're rolling light, whether we're flow rolling. Motherfucker, if you say you want to flow roll and then you pound knuckle me, knee on belly the whole time if you're smaller than I am. If you're bigger than I am, flow rolling.
Let's dissect this a little bit.
I hate that. Hold on, I'm not done. Freaking, no.
Ooh, preach.
Yeah, no. Like, again, we're about to roll. We don't need to, be pounded. It's the same thing with guys. I get guys who have, good handshakes and they have, a firm handshake.
Right.
That's fine.
Those guys bother me, too.
Well, no. But if you have a firm handshake, that's fine. I can feel that you're squeezing harder to pretend like you have a firm handshake, you're just a poser. And I feel the exact same fucking way about guys who want to pound real hard right before a roll. Right?
Okay.
I'm going to light that motherfucker up if I can. Better than I am. I'm going to tell me he's a nice guy and he didn't hurt that.
Yeah.
But
I'll hug him at some point during the roll.
No. I'm looking to whoop some ass all of a sudden.
So what if somebody's just excited and they hit you with that? So there's a couple different areas we can talk about this. Is it like a hard high five with a hard pound, or do you and they're excited and you're like, ooh, he just gave me a little more than I was expecting? Or do you hate the dudes who soft high five but then hit you hard on them knuckles?
I don't care how hard the high five is. You can handle a little more of the high five. It's a little. I don't like a stinging high five either, right?
Okay.
Again, we're high fiving and pound. This is a show of respect. We're not fucking beating our chest because it's gorilla time. That's gonna happen.
A high five. You ever hit somebody with a high five? You're all excited. The moment is special. You're like, ooh, bitches, let's roll. And then,
listen,
smack. You hit a nice high five.
3 rolls into a Wednesday class is not excitable, man.
Okay.
Quit fucking pounding me.
I got
hard.
you. I got you,
knuckle
fam.
to knuckle. It's just not comfortable. It's not like, oh, my hand hurts. I'm thinking about. No, man. We're about to roll.
Does this happen frequently?
Yes.
Just to make your list, this must happen a lot.
Yes. I would say once a week, some motherfucker pounds me a little harder.
Really?
Maybe once a month.
Once a month.
Well, at least once a month. There's a couple of guys who do it on purpose because they know it bothers me. They try to do it on purpose.
So you take hot knuckles once a week.
Once a week.
And you don't like it.
No.
Interesting.
Especially when it's like a dude who hasn't given me the hot knuckles before.
Right.
Oh god, I hate it.
A surprise hot knuckles?
Yeah. Oh yeah. More than anything. Like, if I know it's coming, then I'll just not pump them.
No.
Right. I'll be some straight disrespect if you're trying to hit my knuckles hard. I don't give a fuck.
All right, let me give another one. Okay, this has been a personal pet peeve of mine for as long as I can remember. And you guys listening out in podcast world, and you know me, you're gonna know that I find this abhorrent as a practice. And we actually have running jokes around the gym about this. I hate bro science with a passion. Okay,
Go on.
I hate bro science with a passion. So what that means is there is some very well-known, high-ranked jiu-jitsu black belt who used to do seminars in our area and would give medical and chiropractic advice. And he was not a medicinal specialist or
chiropractors are frauds.
Okay, chiropractors are frauds. No. But he was not a leading member of the chiropractic community either. And he would give massive amounts of medical advice, chiropractic advice, self-help healing advice. He might have been an expert in all of those things, right? He didn't have a medical degree or a chiropractic degree.
He could have been an expert in all those. He may have been well-read, but he wasn't an expert.
He wasn't I feel like he wasn't a peer-reviewed expert.
I feel like you can't call yourself an expert if you don't have some sort of certification or degree in that. He might have been well-read. Also, by the way, hey, if there's any chiropractors that want to sponsor us, we love you.
Yeah. I mean, I have only frequented a chiropractor once in my life.
I'm a man, so I don't, but I get what you're saying.
I went once.
Anyway. No, I agree, though,
I'm torn.
Dietitian.
Dietary?
Dietary.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, people will go to the dietary and then come to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
No. People about diet. And again, I'm probably guilty of this a little bit. We talk a lot, but people who, I guess there's a difference in having the conversation of what you do and then, like, my word is bond. Like, listen to me about this. But especially when you're talking about medical stuff and especially when you're wrong. Like, if you're going above elevated and ice it, which is still controversial if you read some articles.
Right. Rest, ice.
Yeah.
Right. Compression, elevation. Sure. Right. I mean, these standard, hey, did you try to rice it? Those kind of things, not bro science to me. Right. Passing on friendly advice. But this dude would give like chiropractic lessons and just as far as I'm concerned, don't listen to me when we're in the gym. Okay, we're in the academy. I got my black belt on. I got my gi on. I don't have my gi on, but I'm in my rash guard. You know who I am. Don't listen to anything I say outside of jiu-jitsu related, right? I'm in project management, right? Mm-hmm. I run a project management team. Don't listen to me related to project management because I don't know what your organization does.
Well, at least not at jiu-jitsu.
Right, at least not at jiu-jitsu, right? If we want to have a business conversation outside of the J, please. But, dude... we have there's lots. I mean, the ego is very high in jiu-jitsu anyway.
Yeah.
The old adage, leave your ego at the door, doesn't fucking work, right? You don't do jiu-jitsu unless you want to whoop somebody's ass. You got to have a healthy ego for that. But there's we have dudes in the gym right now who would be the first to tell you everything about everything, even though they are more than likely vastly undereducated related to that topic. And
you could have just stopped with vastly undereducated with the people that we go to jiu-jitsu.
And that's, we got a lot of smart guys at jiu-jitsu with lots of degrees. Yeah. I mean, you're not one of them. No. It's fine.
They must not talk to me.
Big pet peeve of mine, man, is dudes who just, spread that bro science, right? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like, listen, if I got fucking, like, first of all, we do, legitimately, there are doctors at the gym, okay? And the inverse of that is, dude, don't whip out your, 3-inch hog and say, hey, do you know what this rash is on my dick, right? Flip the inverse of that. And it's bro science, people who shouldn't be giving advice, fucking giving advice. And you know what? I don't like either of those.
I understand.
I make some jokes every now and then, and it's like, hey, you should try this. But it's more in passing. When it becomes preachy, I don't like it, right? I don't like the clouds open up and the sun shines on a motherfucker and he starts preaching, you should do this and you should do this. And Jesus, please. I don't fucking like it at all.
No,
I don't like it. It's actually super irritating. I'm getting a little hyped up about it right now because I don't fucking like it at all. We're not with this one particular black belt anymore. But, dude, we would fucking, at the end of these seminars, motherfuckers would be like, how do you feel about crust on bread? Bitch, shut the fuck up. Talk about jiu-jitsu. Right? We don't need to talk about this. What do you feel about mysticism in the martial arts? How about you lick my balls? There's no mysticism in jiu-jitsu. Either you wreck me or you don't. How about that?
You know what? I'll be honest. If we talk about mysticism in jiu-jitsu, I'm in. I'm in.
There's fucking no mysticism. How do you feel about like lighting smoke and putting fucking, what was that movie? Steven Seagal, Hard to Kill? Motherfucker, he's outside, incense and fucking putting all the, what's that called when you needle motherfuckers in the back? And acupuncture. Yeah. You acupuncture motherfuckers. And while you're acupuncture, you slip into what they used to smoke, that peyote or whatever in the Indian teepees and shit, and you fucking go on a fucking spiritual journey.
Well, listen.
Shut the fuck up. It's jiu-jitsu, bitch. High five, lightly pound Kevin because he's gonna cry if you hard pound and fucking roll. That's all I got for you, man. Shut the fuck up and do jiu-jitsu.
So I'm gonna throw you a curveball here because I wasn't ready for that. You mentioned this.
Yep.
Dudes who come to classes with rashes. You pointed it out. Listen, that's not one that was on there. I don't think about that, and I don't
listen.
Any kind of rash whatsoever. Don't come. We roll with each other.
It is
Don't
not
rash.
bro science if I point out a fucking rash
No.
that you got as
What
a fucking
is that?
Iron Man symbol on your chest, and we tell you can't train.
Listen. You don't. If you have 2 mosquito bites next to each other, I don't want to roll.
Oh, you might got impetigo.
Yeah,
you don't even know.
I don't know because clearly you don't know.
Nope.
Oh God, yeah. So
Because you were
that's
fucking jungle booking it in the woods.
Oh,
Why
my
the fuck
God,
you
yeah.
got so many
of all
mosquito
things,
bites?
that bothers me more than guys who come a little sick. Because that one bothers me a little bit. Like guys who come to the gym sick is a little, or when they just got over a cold. Not a big fan of that one.
Doesn't bother me all that much.
That one a little bit, right? But man, when you got a rash on you, there's something about like contagious skin diseases that are
That's not
just
a pet
bother me.
peeve. That's a rule. That should be a rule.
That's a good
It
point.
should be a rule at every
Fair
gym.
enough.
It's a rule at ours. Don't come if you got ringworm, MRSA, 2 bug bites that look like it could be one of those things.
Yeah.
Impetigo, fucking pink eye, conjunctivitis. Don't come if you got all of these things.
Yeah.
Don't come.
Don't.
You can train tomorrow if that shit's gone.
Yeah.
You can train a
Get
week from now.
Get some cortisone, put that shit on there, and then come back next
We ain't
week.
going nowhere.
Yeah.
Ketoconazole will clear up a fucking ringworm in a week. And put that shit on. Go to your doctor. Seek a medical professional. Seek some assistance. Don't listen to us, but don't fucking train if you got shit that's
Listen to us.
questionable.
Yeah, don't come to class. but don't
Questionable.
so you don't have to listen to it. So whatever.
Yeah. Don't come if you even got anything moderately or remotely near a rash or some kind of communicable disease, right? You got AIDS? Hit me with a note real quick. Hey, I got AIDS, right? I'll still probably roll with you.
Yeah.
Because chances are slim you're bleeding into my butthole. You're bleeding into some other orifice that might quickly get me AIDS.
I did cut a guy's eye the other day in class. 2 weeks ago.
Who's?
So,
You cut a dude's eye?
yeah.
With what? One of your like razor blades?
My headbutt. I think I headbutted.
You headbutted it,
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah. We were doing takedowns. I headbutted.
Oh.
My buddy. Nonetheless,
Interesting.
I digress.
All right. So you're not going to like my next pet peeve.
Oh.
Okay. Proper podiatric care. Okay. What I meant to say was podiatry. Okay. Proper podiatric care. Okay. That word means feet. Okay. So
Well, hold on. Before you go on there, I take care of my feet. They're just ugly anyway.
Listen.
Continue on.
Let me tell you a little bit about Kevin's feet, everyone. So, if you ever saw a young child who was raised by fucking wolves and he was 13 when he first saw like normal people in life, like he's found by like a wilderness adventurer and they're like, oh my God, we fucking saw this 13-year-old kid running with fucking wolves, climbing trees with no hands. That's what Kevin's fucking feet look like, okay? Kevin looks like all his toes decided to vomit at the same time, and his toenails turned the vomit color. Okay?
You know, at first you were just describing me as Mowgli, and I was okay with that.
As Mowgli.
Mowgli, yeah.
Mowgli from the Jungle Book.
Mowgli's turning around.
Yeah. So, like, dude, Kevin, it's hard. Listen.
So let's hold on here. Let's go
Dude,
back to
you
this.
can hang from trees upside down with your feet.
No. Hold on. Let's talk for real. First of all, like we're gonna talk about fingernails too, because of my ugly feet, I get pinged for this more often than what it should be. Right, my fingernails are clipped. I want to do that now. I can pull up my toes. They're clipped.
This doesn't matter.
They're just ugly looking.
It doesn't matter.
Listen. I wash my feet all the time.
If you shave the wool off a sheep, it's still a fucking sheep. Dude, you
but it's not contagious anymore. It's not a zombie sheep.
It doesn't
right?
matter. Your feet
There's nothing I can do about it.
They're just disgusting.
There's nothing I can do about it. It's
matter.
not that they're not clean.
Listen, I'm ugly as sin. I don't go around like fucking putting makeup on and shit
You're
to try
on
to
a
make
video
myself...
cast.
That's fine.
You're an ugly ass face. This is the exact same thing.
No, it's not, dude. Your feet are so bad.
But I take care of them. They're just the way they look.
No, they're so. Listen. They couldn't be badder. Okay, badder's not even a word. Like your feet are like
they could be the baddest.
Listen, if I had your feet, I'd fucking walk out of my hands. Okay, I wouldn't even want to like. If they're that like you're at the gym and the minute you step on the mats, it's like I'm never rolling on that rectangle again. It's this. Your feet are so disgusting.
They listen. They are ugly. And I'll be honest. The other day you called me out of my feet.
Do you pay your wife to massage them?
Huh?
Like, what happens? Like, if you take your sock off after like a rough fucking day, are they like in tatters when they come off your feet?
No,
they're so disgusting.
No, but again, they're not long. They're not. I'm not scratching you. They're just.
I'm not saying that you
they
got
just
like.
look like I got ran over by like they got stampeded. That was the only part they got ran over. You know
I didn't
like,
say you had talons. I'm just saying.
Well, you said I climbed trees.
Well, I mean, because you got
so
like.
listen. I take care of the proper hygiene when I go there, right? You just don't want me playing like rubber guard when we're rolling. I get
appreciate the podiatric care that you take into your feet, right?
Yeah.
The scrubbing, the in between the toes, right? I value all of that. It's just Dude, what's wrong with them? Do you got like poor circulation? Do you have a glandular disorder? What's happening here?
I don't know. I'll be honest. One of the list of many medical things I should probably get checked out.
They're tough actin, chin-actin did not work for you, bro.
But no. See, that's the problem, right? I don't get athlete's foot because I get it real bad when I get it.
Oh, your feet should never be an athlete. Holy crap, dude. Your feet should never do anything but be hidden from the world. Your feet are like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. They should be locked up somewhere. Well, that's why I said not to be visible by anyone.
That's how I know they're clean all the time, because if I don't change my socks like twice a day and I don't keep my feet clean, I get really bad athlete's foot, as I found out when I was a kid. So I have to do all that stuff. So I don't know what it is, because and it's not just even because my nails get discolored. It's not even just that, right?
Bro,
but then they're funny looking. But then they're funny looking too. They're like
discolored.
The little one's like it's like a triangle. It's weird as shit looking.
It looked to me like all your toes at some point in life decided they weren't friends anymore, and they just all ran different directions.
No, they're all together. They're all together.
Oh,
that's the problem.
God.
Except I got one. I think it's on the left, like the left index one. That's perfect. Right? You can't tell it because the other ones are like over top of it, but it looks perfectly fine, like a normal toe. He's like, you know what I mean?
Can't tell because they're fucking climbing all over each other. It looks like you've had arthritis since you were 3.
It's like you go to a work conference and the guy's like, yeah, I'm from West Virginia. You're like, oh, that's weird. Right? That's that one toe.
No surprise.
No. You're surprised. You're like, oh, wow, you're well spoken. You don't, just that one that it sticks out because it's normal.
Dude, let me tell you about this. So the other night, I'm laying down in bed. I use one of those fucking like leopard print horseshoe pillows that I put behind my neck. So I'm laying in bed and I start to doze off, and I wake up in like a sharp like startle, and I get looked at and it's like, why? What the fuck's going on here? And I was like, dude, I thought of Kevin's feet real quick, bro. I was like, immediately his toes popped in my head, and I felt like he was like, I tried to footlock him or something. I got my hands all over him. It's like, dude, you know what? You got an immediate defense for a toe hold, bro.
That's right.
Because nobody's touching
I don't
those.
train leg locks.
Nope. Dude, you know that.
That's why they go heel hooks, though. They don't realize it right away. You know when you get that
scrape and you got to put that like new skin on? Dude, I'm going to new skin my hands before you and I roll next. So there's no skin on skin. I don't know if that shit's contagious. You ever like hold a frog and get warts and shit? I don't know if you're fucking eagle claws.
I think I got to pee on you for that. We're good.
Well, whatever. You know, I thought that's how you prevent me from like getting electrocuted by a stingray or some shit.
That's how you cure a jellyfish thing.
Sorry.
That may not
be
true.
Whatever.
You know what? It's
you
true.
guys know if that's
Bro
true?
Science.
Bro science. Pee on a jellyfish.
You pee on yourself before you pee on your buddy before you go in the water.
Does a jellyfish die if you pee on it? I mean, yeah.
But I do know if I pee on you before the next time you go to the beach, no jellyfish will bother you.
No, listen, dude, if you're even there, no jellyfish are bothering us. You don't fucking wear water shoes, because even the water, dude, you'd be like Moses and you'd part the sea with both feet. Every step would be like, whoop, total displacement. Anyway, okay.
Anyways, but but I would agree with the fingernails, the clipping.
And I didn't say that shit. I talked about your feet, bro. You might.
We got Jiu-Jitsu socks, because apparently I'm going to need them. I'm taking them off while we roll, don't get me wrong.
You might want to turn this into, keep your nails clipped and keep your all these stuff well maintained. Dude, I'm talking about your feet. Please go.
All right, so since we're talking about me, I'll go with another one that I tend to be guilty with. And it's guys who overcoach after a roll.
Dude, your feet are so disgusting. I can't take it. All right, sorry.
Anyways, people who overcoach after a roll. So, and again, I'm guilty of this. I did it the other day, actually. And again, it doesn't matter, even if it's good stuff. So the other day, I was rolling with someone, and we had a good roll, and they did like 3 or 4 things just wrong. I didn't tell them all 3 or 4. They didn't get it, but I did. I sat there and I explained, and I had a move for each one to do instead. And I was probably wrong at 75% of them, let's be honest.
Right.
I probably showed them one right thing. But even if I showed them everything that was right, we're going to the next roll. People are trying to go home. I'm not going to retain all that. They're not paying me to teach, so why the hell am I teaching them? Yeah, like, listen, it's okay to give someone a pointer after the fact.
Right.
Give them a few things like that. But you do need to watch, how much you're telling guys, no matter what your rank is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's a little different coming from a brown or a black belt, right? Especially a black belt who's been teaching, who knows when to do it,
Sure.
and when not to do it, right? But there's a difference. There's black belts out there that just want to toot their own horn, or just like me, like to talk and keep going on and on and on. Yeah, you just got to be careful with that. Like the overteaching, it's great to teach, and I think I'm a big fan of all guys like sharing their knowledge. You got to be careful when you're a blue belt and blue and purple belt, because your knowledge isn't really where it should be to be
right.
teaching. but to share the knowledge is great, and especially even at a blue belt level to learn. You know what I mean? Go, hey, this is kind of what I do.
If you're doing it with a white belt as a purple belt, it's not such a big deal.
Well,
if you're trying to like overcoach a dude so you've been a purple belt for 2 years and you're trying to overcoach a dude who just got his purple belt, it's like situationally that might be a little bit different.
Well, here's the problem. I think it's actually better to overcoach another purple belt because it's okay. The purple can they'll get it, or you know what I mean. They'll get it. They'll be able to take in what you're going to do. If I overcoach a white belt, he's only going to understand a half of it, and I'm probably going to cause more problems than I'm going to help.
It, right?
Yeah, because we're not able to concentrate on one thing. So again, not so much whether or not you should or shouldn't coach, but in those positions where you should, still don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's a big one too, because then guys sitting around, they're discussing a bunch of things that we're not talking about in class. You're confusing people, and then I'm stuck without a guy to roll because you won't because of my feet. So you know,
preach. So let's parlay this into another. I think everybody's pet peeve, and I want to frame this appropriately. White belts who teach other white belts. Now, let's put some confines around this conversation, because it's not the 4-stripe white belt who's touching blue helping out the brand new white belt who started yesterday. It's 2 white belts who started yesterday, but one's a bigger fan of the UFC and they are trying to teach the other one, or you got a 4-month jump. Now, to add more confines around that, when the room is full of purple, browns, and blacks, there is no need for a white belt to teach another white belt anything at all. In that scenario, right, where they're 2 brand new white belts.
Yeah.
No fucking need at all. Don't do it. Look up and go, hey, Scott, hey, Kevin, hey, Steve, hey, Rune, hey, somebody, right? Come over here. This person, I noticed with my vast knowledge of 2 months of being a white belt.
This doesn't feel right. Tell me if they're doing it right.
They're not doing it right. Yeah, can you help them out?
Yeah.
Or they just said they're having a problem with this. There's no reason I should be helping anybody with a problem of anything. I'm not even a real person at white belt.
Try this.
Right.
This is what I do. Try this. Maybe it'll help you. Like twist your hand a little or something.
That's a big pet peeve of mine. We call it white on white crime, non-racial color in jiu-jitsu. We call it white on white crime is when, 2 scenarios. One, white belts are teaching white belts, or the blind leading the blind, right? Yeah. I mean, it's probably more apropos at this point, but white on white crime is usually when
white belts are beating the crap out of each other.
Or they heel hooking each other and shit. And it's like, you're not allowed to do that, so it's criminal, right?
You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that to another white belt.
Yeah.
And just,
but it's a big pet peeve of mine, and you see it all the time. And now I'm at the point where it's just like, I'm just going to let it happen, right? I mean, unless I know.
But that's one of my pet peeves. So we're going to switch right onto this.
Okay.
I hate that. So as a black belt, right? And we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but especially as a brown and a black belt. But a black belt who, and you're in a position in the class where you teach the class sometimes.
Yep.
You're a leader in the class,
sure.
right? You notice these things, and I think
technically IBJJF, I'm higher ranked than Rune. I want you guys all to know that.
Well, you signed up on the website faster?
Yes. Yes. Anyway, carry on.
But the guys who kind of turn a blind eye to that, right, and don't help out where they should. I hate that probably more than
is it
more
detrimental though?
Yes.
When 2 white belts are like just chatting amongst themselves, trying to teach each other some stuff.
Well,
is it negative? By me not saying something, does it impact their jiu-jitsu negatively?
Yes. For one,
what if it doesn't? What if that white belt's spot on?
But if he's spot on, that's different, right?
What if I don't even care to listen and I'm just like, man, whatever, they're messing around with stuff.
That makes you a douche, right?
Oh, okay.
But guys who notice like they're being told the wrong things, or guys that are doing that and don't take an active role. Again, you don't have to be a jerk about it. You know what I mean? But
so
just,
if I
just
notice,
step in there. But even the same thing. If you watch, I see this all the time where like 2 white belts are drilling together, which I get why sometimes you want to as a higher level belt you want to drill with another higher level belt so you can work on some details and things like that.
Sure.
But like I've watched them just screwing it up and doing a terrible job at doing the move, and watch a higher level belt just turn around and walk away.
But what if they're
and not be doing anything?
I don't know if that
that's a pet peeve. Again, I know they don't have to do it all the time. It doesn't have to be there nonstop. But man, like again, you're one of those higher level belts, and you're one of those guys that wants to wants to act that way and wants to be treated that way, and then you don't do it. So again, if you're a black belt who just comes in, does his thing, and he just got his black belt because he's really good, doesn't want to be the teacher, doesn't want to be one of the leaders in the room, that's fine, right? But don't pretend like you're one of the leaders and not become a leader when time is tough, right? Because there's nothing worse than telling 2 stupid white belts how to do something.
I'll tell you that I'm torn with this one because
you're a pilot. Oh, sorry.
Besides that fact. At what point do the two white belts? So first of all, if they're both brand new, I'm gonna say something. Point blank, they're both brand new. I'm not gonna let some schmuck A teach schmuck B, schmucky things. Okay, but if they're not both brand new, but they're still both white belts, if I hear them saying something totally wrong, I would approach it differently. Like, I'm not gonna roll up and be like, "Hey, that's dumb. Let me show you my way." Right? I may slide in there. If I see something, and that's just if something's wrong. If I see something blatantly wrong, like just don't ever do that. Like nobody would ever do that. I'd probably try to make it funny and say that exact thing.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Nobody would ever do that ever.
Break the ice, make it kind of funny.
No one's ever going to do that ever in a million years. And if you've ever done it, stop. Don't ever do it again. Things like that. But I'm torn sometimes on whether or not I should interfere, because isn't that part of the learning process? When that shit don't work, isn't that the greatest testament to their ability? Hey, he told me to try this, and I tried it, and that shit don't work. Well, now I'm going to ask, and I might be more apt to inquire about the difference rather than just initial inquiry.
See, the problem with that, though, is a lot of times when you learn how to do something right, it don't work the first time, right? It's like anything.
Yeah, but when you learn something wrong, it never works.
Well, what if it does? Especially if you do something right, especially if you're rolling with someone who's new. This has happened to me a few times where I've done it right and it didn't work because the guy was good at defending it and I just messed it up, wrong setup, and then I did it wrong and it worked, right? Because the guy wasn't ready for it, slipped.
Can anything that's wrong really work?
Yeah.
This is a topic for another day.
Yeah, but yes, sure.
I'm not sure
you
about
get
that.
lucky. I mean,
I'm not sure about that.
If it's not the right way to do it, if it doesn't have a high probability of working, right?
I'm not sure.
If it's got a 98% chance of failing and I happen to hit that 2%, that doesn't make it right.
Yeah, no,
maybe
you're
right for that situation, but. Yeah, kind of the spun on that, guys. And again, a little bit different than what we were talking about, but higher level belts that don't help out when they see something going wrong, especially like you guys with that's another one of those that just kills me more than anything. Again, especially the guys who want to put themselves in that position. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then walk away when it's a tough conversation. It's great to tell the star white belt who's going to have his blue belt in 3 weeks what he's doing wrong, so you can take credit for giving him his blue belt. But it's hard, you know what I mean, to teach the white belt who's never going to be
I was never that star white belt.
I know.
You weren't either.
No.
We're like the B team sitting here podcasting about
but
jiu-jitsu.
Somebody was willing to help us.
Yeah. Somebody was willing to help us out.
And those are the
somebody
good teachers.
told us what we did wrong, and now look.
Yeah.
We're still garbage. Whatever.
We're doing less wrong.
So, all right. This one is a big pet peeve of mine. And I don't know if pet peeve is the right word. I can't articulate the right word. 2 scenarios in my jiu-jitsu career. Probably more, but 2 scenarios that I can pinpoint right now. Dudes came in on day 1 and expected to just wreck everybody in the room. Okay? And like I always get, so I handle all of the emails for the gym and most of the Facebook messages that come in. I'm getting some assistance lately. But a couple times, so this dude years ago, okay? I'm not going to drop his name, GMV, but this dude came in and he trained for a little while when we first started, though, so years ago, before we had the gym we're in right now, back in Arun's basement. And I don't like this dude, by the way. Not a big fan, right? And
even outside of him being pompous when he first showed up?
Yeah. He impacted another one of my pet peeves that we'll get to later on. So he's like, he's a dually, right? So anyway, we were going somewhere and I picked this dude up at his house. He was a young kid at the time. Still don't fucking like him. Anyway, so I picked this dude up and we're driving and I was like, how'd you find us, right? How'd you find the gym, right? I like to get the story from people that I'm going to go train with. I like to get the scoop on how they found us, right? I designed the website. I think it's nice, right? I really just want to get a pat on my back to say, hey, that's a badass fucking website. It's like, oh shit, really? Yeah, I made that shit, anyway. So I'm asking him and he goes, my wrestling coach told me a little bit about jiu-jitsu. He's like, so I Googled it and I was looking around. He's like, and I found the website and, I came in and he goes, and I'm going to be honest with you. I thought I was going to beat everybody. I was like, what? Like we're on the highway and he was sitting behind me in the middle. So I can't remember who was sitting in the passenger seat, but he's sitting behind me in the middle. And I remember like almost like wrecking the car. I turned around and looked at him and I was like, what did you just say?
Well, of course he thought that. Again, I'm not disagreeing that's not a pet peeve because that it is, but that's probably one of the best things about it. It annoys everybody who does jiu-jitsu but it's one of the best feelings too when that guy comes in and then you can wreck him.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
listen, I didn't say like it was like the most awful. That's why I said pet peeve's probably not the right word for it. Right.
I think it is, right? Because it's just a little peeve.
It's irritating, and that's what pet peeves are. You're right.
It's a little irritating.
So I look at this motherfucker in the car, and we must have been driving to a tournament or a seminar or something. And I look at him, and I was like, what would make you think that I've never, ever in my life snowboarded before, but I'm going to be fucking the best snowboarder of all time. And I'm going to beat everybody at the snowboarding camp I'm going to. Right? It doesn't fucking make any sense. So I'm like, what would possess you to think that you're going to come in? He goes, I was a good wrestler.
You think it's similar?
You can lick both of my nuts, okay? It's the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, you know what? I've never been on a horse my entire fucking life. But you put me on a horse, dude, I'm winning the Kentucky Derby, bro. That's what it feels like to me, okay? I've never, ever once in my life done wrestling. Okay, I've wrestled at Jiu-Jitsu, but I've never gone to a wrestling camp and wrestled with wrestlers. I'll probably win. That's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard in my life. Jesus Christ. What kind of personality conflict or issue or social disorder do you have to think you're going to roll up in this joint with dudes who do jujitsu, with at least one motherfucker who teaches the jujitsu class you're about to go to, and think you're going to fucking win?
When they said that, do you think he was going to rock everybody?
Oh, yeah, dude. He said, I thought I was going to beat everybody.
Yeah, but did he say that a little, even the higher level belts and the teachers and stuff like that. Yeah. He thought he was going to be teacher's pet day 3.
Yeah. Day one. Dude, he thought 5 minutes in he was going to walk in and be getting his dick sucked by all these fucking chicks. Like, dude, no, you're not. First of all, there's no girls there. And anyway, the dudes there you wouldn't want on your dick anyway, right? It's like, Jesus Christ. It's just...
Well, maybe a few.
Well, you never know.
Anyways.
Dude, I'm a dreamboat. It's fine. Dude, I'd make the worst queer ever. I just want you to know that. My gag reflex is real low. Dude, I fucking throw up from fucking shoulder of justice. I'd be the worst gay ever. Okay? There's nothing wrong if you're gay. I just want you to know I'm probably not the guy you'd want to be, pick for your homeboy or whatever you want to call it. Right? I'm not a side piece either. I'm serious. I'm really not. Like, I got like emotional problems too. And I'm not the kind of guy that you're going to want to, I'm just not. That took a turn for the worst.
All right. So anyways, we're going to go to my next one.
Okay.
So this one's going to be you got to listen to the full thing because there's a point to this. So
I got you.
Really, I don't like guys who wear, I'm going to say dirty geese, but dirty clothes, right? And
Rat King. Yep.
Got you. No. So again,
dirty.
Rat King was dirty, and I'm going to draw a line here, right?
Okay.
Dirty clothes is worse than a dirty person. So if you didn't shower for 2 days but wore a clean gi and a rash guard and everything in a class, I don't have a bigger problem with you as the guy who didn't wash his gi in the last week. And I tell you, there's a story. So when I was training in Ohio,
wash your gi, bro.
It just smells worse. It's harder to deal with. At least you have a clean gi over top of your stank body to hold it in.
Right.
We had a guy who would come all the time.
You're fucking Pigpen from Charlie Brown, but if you got a fresh ass white bleached gi on, you cool?
You good? They got that Charmin Fresh on you. I'm all right with that. That's toilet paper. What's the bear?
I don't fucking know. I don't know, puffy detergent.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, but we had a guy. I think it was the boxing classes, right? But he'd wear the same freaking hoodie, and he would take the hoodie off, and he would stick it, and he would leave it at the gym.
Ooh.
But the dude was
clean. And he'd put it back on when he came the next day.
Yes,
like all sweaty, and he'd box with it on, and then take it back off.
Yeah, like it was just in there.
No.
Like everything else was clean. I don't know, but it was bad.
We talking like 2 weeks?
We're talking months. We're talking like 2-3 months minimum.
That dude's a rat now.
Right. I don't remember who it was.
I can't think of like a dirty person
but he was
than the
clean.
Rat King.
Like the dude was like super clean other than that, except for this. But it was terrible.
Disgusting.
Like there was other dudes who were dirty but wear clean clothes and it wouldn't be so bad. And we're not talking about jiu-jitsu either. We're just talking about boxing.
Right.
Right? I'm trying to keep my distance. That's how I learned how to box on the outside was with that motherfucker.
So there's like
dirty clothes.
There's some unspoken rules. Well, they shouldn't be unspoken, but they should be just like, life hacks and life tips.
Wash your clothes.
Take a fucking shower. Cut your finger for jiu-jitsu related, right? Remember,
in general, so far you're so good.
Don't listen to anything I say outside of jiu-jitsu. But this advice might transcend.
A little bit of road science for you,
right?
Wash your
clothes. Cut your fucking nails. Right? Cut your feet off if they look like Kevin's. Right? I mean, shit, you don't want to be rolling ever with somebody like Kevin. Dude, fucking wear wrestling shoes. Jesus Christ. Those things might only last like 3 minutes, but whatever. Wear them. Right? But yeah, come with a clean fucking gi. Oh, a big one. clean your belt. Some people don't believe in washing a belt. I'm not a big fan of washing belts, right? Throwing it in the washing machine. I have an expensive belt. When I got my black belt, I bought a couple $100 belt, right? Maybe not that much, but 100 and some change. But I spray it down with disinfectant spray, and I make sure to hit every nook and cranny, right? I'm not just doing it when it's all crinkled up. I spread it all out.
Spread it out.
I spray it when I get home.
Let it hang.
I let it hang, right? Amongst other things that I'm letting hang. I'm proper ventilation, right? But
put it out in the garage.
Clean your shit
when it's cold, the winter, it'll kill all the germs.
Clean your shit. It's just, biggest pet peeve is dirty motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, again, not dirty people. People with dirty clothes. Dirty people are wet, but dirty clothes is worse. I'd rather have a dirty person with clean clothes than a clean person with dirty clothes.
Oh, right.
It's worse. Oh, it's terrible.
So, I'm gonna go back to the one I just had. Right?
Okay.
Motherfucker I don't like who said he was going to beat everybody.
Yeah.
So my other pet peeve, which is kind of on the same side as this one, is I get emails from motherfuckers who are like, listen, I'm dying to be an amateur MMA fighter. My whole life, all I've ever wanted to do was be an amateur MMA fighter. And, can I train with you, right? You guys do jiu-jitsu. And they act like they talk right.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, the first line is, I want to be an amateur MMA fighter. XXX, right? ... They don't start with, hey, I know jiu-jitsu is a valid aspect of mixed martial arts, and I know that you guys are probably the best pure jiu-jitsu place in town, and I'd like to train with you guys because I want to be an MMA fighter. Okay, the approach goes a long way for me, right? I mean, I'm an atmosphere and approach guy, right? So first impressions mean a lot to me, but to so many people, the best one, underground BJJ, I have one punch knockout power and I'm trying to be an MMA fighter, and I would love to train with you guys. Can I please come? First of all,
let's don't care about your knockout power.
I don't give one rat's ass about your knockout power. Yeah. First of all. Second of all, the fuck you talking about? Have you ever boxed? Did you even know what MMA is? Or did you watch like a UFC one day at Buffalo fucking Wild Wings and think you're tough as nails?
Bro, when I see red, bro, you just don't know.
Yeah. Those guys, right? That bothers me. That's a big pet peeve.
I can understand that.
It bothers me. And it's different for guys like you versus guys like me, because you're going to get the guy after he made the decision to come into the gym and he tells you he's all that tough. I'm getting that cursory email. Do I even want to let this motherfucker come into the gym?
Do I want to reply back to his email?
Do I want to hit reply?
Yes.
And say, listen, dude, like, first of all, you might have one punch knockout power, but you will never get a chance to use that, right? Unless you follow Kevin's school of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, where anybody can get punched at any time, regardless of how good you are at Jiu-Jitsu, and immediately you're going to be terrible at Jiu-Jitsu after you get punched. So for those reasons is why Kevin hates Jiu-Jitsu. But nonetheless, bring that back. I don't give a fuck if you have knockout power. I don't give a fuck if you want to be an MMA fighter. You know how many motherfuckers over the last 15 years have said, ooh, I want to fight. You know how many times people have fought? This motherfucker fought when he said it. He goes, you know what? I want to fight. So I'm going to fight. I was in his corner. We had a couple other guys go, you know what? I want to fight. One of them actually trained and fought and did pretty well. The other one, nope, didn't train at all. Decided that putting sunglasses on and having a fancy nickname was cooler than training. But there was always somebody better. And you know what? Come in, learn some. I always reply, by the way. I don't ever leave anybody hanging via email ever. I always reply, and I'm always trying to be cordial. It's like, well, you know, if
you ever let them know that, hey, you can come in, but the door's a little narrow, so I'm not sure your head will come in?
I don't, but I usually say, hey, we don't do MMA here. Our jiu-jitsu is, can assist you with that. But if you're interested in more MMA-focused training, there's probably better gyms for you, right? And I'm you know what?
Cordial and honest
We
about
don't
it.
have any, this goes into another pet peeve that we might get to later on. I don't have any animosity towards the other gyms in the area. You know what? They're really good at what they do. Mm-hmm. We're really good at what we do. There's some overlap in between. We don't do any MMA, and they do a lot of MMA. We only do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and submission grappling. They do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, submission grappling, and MMA. Yeah. And they have a lot more guys who fight regularly. They're much more involved in the fight teams than we are. And that's fine. No big deal, right? And they're, you know what? We're friends. If I see those guys out, I'm going to be like, hey, what's up, dudes? And if they see me, they're going to be like, hey, you know, what's up, guy who trains at some other school, right? They might not know my name. It's fine. Yeah. Right? I'm forgettable. But one of my bigger pet peeves in dealing with just the public who doesn't know anything about anything is I want to fight. Dude, I'm really good at knockout power. And I appreciate the guys who go like, listen, I was a D1 athlete, a D1 wrestler, and I want to come in and train because I think jiu-jitsu is going to help me transition. That's fine. That approach is better to me than somebody who just blows me up with, potentials rather than actuals. Hey, I was a D1 wrestler. Fact.
Yeah.
I got knockout power. Arguable, maybe a fact, but arguable.
Here's my accomplishments, and I want to come in because I think it's going to be helpful.
Here's my accomplishments. I want to supplement them because I know I don't know enough with this.
I'm a badass, so you should be excited for me to come in.
Yeah.
No, completely.
Dude, I had this cousin, man. You're going to remember this cousin. I had this fucking cousin. We might have talked about this one time. I had this cousin. Well, he wasn't my cousin. He was dating one of my cousins. This motherfucker had tattoos all over his face and shit. And he always was a big MMA fan. And somehow in conversation, this was probably 10 years ago, maybe longer. Somehow in conversation, it came up that I did jiu-jitsu, and I think I was a blue belt at the time. And I was like, I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. And he goes, blue belt in jiu-jitsu? He's like, dude, that's badass. And, he was like, feeding, he was hyping me up, right?
He was a little starstruck, so you were taking it.
He was starstruck, and I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll be your Jesus. I don't have no problem with that. Yeah. So we're talking.
Okay, Kanye, keep going.
Yeah. And I didn't have no problem with that. And, he's like, hey, can I come and train with you? And he didn't have no money. He was dirt poor. So I told Rune, I was like, hey, man, I'm going to pay for this dude to come in. And I think Rune saw the writing on the wall prior to this dude even coming in. He's like, don't bother. He's like, just let him come in for a few days. And I was like, fine. And if he sticks with it, we'll figure it out. So this dude comes in and, he's timid and shy, but not like the timid and shy, like a dude who is like, uncomfortable in his own skin, kind of nervous and shy. He was nervous and shy because he was holding back because he thought he was going to kill everyone. Okay? He thought he was going to knock everybody out. He goes, dude, he's like, I'm only giving you about 10%. He's like, because I'm afraid what happens if I give you any more than...
he's giving it like 92%.
Dude, yeah. He was giving everything he had. He was garbage, man. He wasn't in shape or nothing. He was just slinging haymakers, trying to catch motherfuckers on a sly and put them out. He's trying to sleep motherfuckers in the gym, right? And it's like, dude, first of all, we're just training, so there's no need to punch 100%.
Yeah.
But, dude, you're going to end up taking something if you're not at least a little more cautious than 10%. That shit irritates me.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, I'm only giving you 10% because if I give you 11, ooh, shit. If I give you any more than 11.5, I'll probably kill the whole room. Yeah. Right? Probably a nuclear explosion or shit or blow up. I don't know.
You ever seen an anime? Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. You see me Naruto run all over your faces. I don't even know what that means, but my kid says it all the time. I'm going to Naruto run all over you.
I won't do it on video, but I'll show you later.
Okay, show me what a Naruto run is.
My kid also says that all the time, but they do around the house, so I've seen it.
I just, these things, they culminate, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's
they say that jiu-jitsu chokes are cumulative, right? You get choked, somebody lets go, you're like, oh my God, so tired. And then they lock that choke on, and it's way quicker than it would have been if it was totally independent. That's how I feel about people emailing me about coming to the gym. And people who do come in, and they're all like, if you come in, even if you're pompous, right? We've had some cocky ass dudes come in the gym, but it's targeted cockiness. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Or they do it in the right way where it's not douchey or it's not like a step over, the line.
It's good in a jiu-jitsu way. We've got a couple of brown belts. I'm thinking one in general who's just a cockbag, but he's actually a good dude. He comes in, he does the work, and he does everything.
Who's a cockbag?
Jeff's a cocky son of a bitch, right? But he's a great guy, right?
Yeah, but he knows it. He can back it up
because he came in and be like, I'm gonna beat everybody's ass. I couldn't beat everybody's ass.
I'm gonna
try a little harder, right?
Yeah, he's good. He's really good though.
I use him as an example.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But you can have. So I say that jokingly, obviously, but you can have that attitude, that chip on your shoulder, and still come in and learn and put it to good use. You mentioned it before. We always, they say check your ego at the door. Always you're going to say no, keep it in your back pocket because you're going to need it
at some point.
You're going to need it at some point. So you can have that. You can have that chip. Yeah, but when you come in like all big headed, thinking you're tough, when you buy into it, that's the worst part. At least if you're just fronting, you know what I mean?
Oh, dude, they drink their own Kool-Aid and shit.
Guys that drink, that's terrible.
Oh, dude, there are so many people like that.
Well,
remember we played flag football all the time, and there are always these tough-ass dudes.
Oh, God,
I'll knock you out with one punch. Don't even. Listen.
You have no idea.
Bitch, first of all, dude, I roll with dudes. That's really sounded a little bit questionable. To say to like a stranger while you're playing. Dude, I roll with dudes all the time, and I would wreck you. And it's just like, listen, you don't even know what it's about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you ever thrown gloves on and boxed a dude who knew what he was doing and tried to throw down with you?
What do you do
when you could go to the ground too if you wanted to and got punched on the ground? You don't know shit about it.
What do you do when punch number 3 doesn't hurt as much as you think it's going to hurt? You can be beating the crap out of me on your feet all you want, but after punch number 3 and it still doesn't hurt, now it's my turn.
Right. Yeah. Just it bothers me. And you know what's funny is I'm not even like considerably one of the toughest guys in any room I'm at.
No.
You know what I mean? But it's just like dudes who know nothing literally don't know what they don't know. You know what I mean? It's like it's so far out of their grasp of comprehension until day one, right? Tough dudes come in, you know, I got one punch knockout power, and in 6 seconds they're submitting to a triangle choke or something. Yeah. What happened to your one punch knockout power, dude? You couldn't translate that into like a grip on my leg to stop me from doing this. You couldn't turn that into something else, or it's really just that left hand of yours. Once it balls into a fist, right? You become that blonde dude from the Netflix show. What the fuck was that called?
The Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. Shit. How convenient, right? You become that dude with the iron fist, and that's all you have. It's like, listen.
There's nothing better though when those guys come in. When those guys come in, and then 2 years later, you see the growth, right? Because you see that with a lot of kids.
No, they don't.
Some of them do.
Maybe the kids do. The adults don't.
Well, when I say kids, I'm thinking like 19, 20, 22-year-old guys. I've seen more of those guys. Probably
not at our gym.
Yeah, MMA gyms. Yeah. You know what I mean? Those guys come in,
but you catch a dude who is able to swallow his pride later.
Yeah.
And you know he can start to climb the ladder.
The guy
and
goes,
stuff.
"Oops, let me fix this.
My bad."
Yeah.
Or he says something to the wrong dude.
Yeah.
And you take one of them slaps to the face.
Yeah.
Inadvertent, right? Yeah. Anyway, jiu-jitsu pet peeves. What do you got?
So anyway, this one's gonna be a little more of a pet peeve.
Okay.
Right. So I'm not calling anybody out or anything. Dude, I hate when we're at a Ghee class and the guy doesn't have a Ghee.
Oh, you bitch.
Right. I hate. And again, this is a peeve. It's not that I hate it. Like, oh, you're a jerk.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're a new guy. Right. Sometimes you just forgot your Ghee. Whatever. Something happens. It's not like oh my God, I hate this is a terrible thing. It's a peeve. And the reason why it's a peeve.
You have a pet peeve when a dude comes on day one to a Ghee class and doesn't have one?
Yes. Not a peeve. I understand, right? But here's the problem. I always get matched up with him when we're doing a cool Ghee choke or something. It's always me, and I don't get to drill.
So you draw the short straw.
Yeah,
with the
always.
New guys.
I draw the short straw. I got the new guy because I suck, and no one wants to roll.
You come in late. And
no, usually
that dude's ostracized because he doesn't have a Ghee on, because there's a pet peeve for everyone.
Yeah.
And what? We're working Ghee chokes.
Yeah.
And he's odd man out. And you guys got to switch lapels back and forth or switch jackets.
I used to actually keep a spare Ghee. That I had one that had like some rips in it, so we couldn't use it. That I would keep it in my bag because that seemed to always fucking happen.
So if I got new dude.
I got stuck with
my toe destroyed or my feet destroyed hand-me-downs. Right?
I would make it where it happened. I mean, it would funny. It would happen a few times. It'd always be like a young kid, right? He'd be like 19, just in there. So he'd be wearing my big ass Ghee. I'm like, here, put this on. So he doesn't have a belt.
Here, swim in this real quick while
I choke you.
And
I can't figure out why my lapel chokes aren't working. No, yeah, it's again. I'm not like mad at the guy. I understand it. It's not a oh my God, it's a terrible thing like the other things we talked about. It's more the God damn it, that's me again. I got this guy. And I can't do the Ghee chokes. I can't do the sweep. I gotta do a modified version of the sweep. It's like, I'm here for Ghee class. I want to do no Ghee. I'll be here tomorrow.
So we had this dude. This is a funny story. We had this dude. I might have told this before too. Man, we're getting to the point where I don't got no news stories for this fucking podcast. But so we had this dude. We called him Cam, Crazy Asian Mike, CAM. And this dude, he was, a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. And I don't have any problem name dropping because I'm pretty sure the dude died in he probably OD'd on hooker juice or something. Dude, he used to buy hookers all the time.
The way to go.
He's like, well, we asked him to go out one night. Right, this ain't even the story. We asked him to go out one night. He goes, dude, I ain't got no money. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, he worked at a very decent job. He was a contractor at General Electric in our area. And he was like, dude, what the fuck you mean you ain't got no money? He goes, dude, I spent my budget on hookers. And he wasn't the kind of dude to joke around. He wasn't he was not a comical dude at all.
Listen, he had a hooker budget and he hit the limit and he stopped. You know what?
I respect the dude.
Respect that completely.
For his fiduciary responsibility. But he was just a weird cat, man. This motherfucker also wore a belt pack. Now, 8 years ago when this motherfucker was around, belt packs weren't in, right? Joe Rogan hadn't started his acceptance.
Are belt packs back in again?
Yeah, Joe Rogan's a belt pack guy. I don't know if he calls it a belt pack, but
a fanny pack is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. I mean, isn't that belt pack? Same difference, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Right?
I don't know.
You put it around your waist and you... anyway.
Like 1993 fanny pack kind of thing. Okay.
So this dude, he would wear one, and it was... this motherfucker on the regular would be like, hey, can I listen to my Mortal Kombat CD? And first of all, let me rewind. We'd get done teaching class and he'd be like, you guys got any questions? Right? We're thinking pure jiu-jitsu related. And he would raise his hand and be like, you guys mind if I listen to my Mortal Kombat CD? Out of his belt. Now remember, belt packs aren't big. Okay? Out of the belt pack would come this Mortal Kombat CD. And we'd play it, right? And we'd be fucking rocking. We'd be rolling to Mortal Kombat. Now, that's not a pet peeve. That's bad as shit as far as I'm concerned.
Right
we didn't know what else was in that backpack. But, so anyway, back to my pet peeve. So this cat, we had this dude, Jeremy, Wichita. If you're listening, shout out Wichita. He moved to wherever Wichita is. Anyway, he was training for a tournament.
Wait. His last name was Wichita?
No,
or
his first name was Jeremy.
Okay.
But he moved to
I got it.
So we called him Wichita. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Jesus Christ, Kevin.
You called him Jeremy Wichita. I didn't know that Wichita was
No,
Kansas.
I said he moved to wherever Wichita is. I don't fucking know. Do I look like I know anything about the globe?
It's the only city in Kansas that I know.
Shouldn't we be listening to like Dust in the Wind right now while we're talking about
I just keep thinking about Dorothy. It's all I'm got going on. The Wizard of Oz, not my mom.
I'm ending this podcast right now. Your mom is Dorothy. Dude, Kevin's mom is awesome. Anyway, so this dude, Jeremy, is training for this tournament. Wichita's training for this tournament. And he asks, hey, can I come to this gi class? It's a no gi tournament. He goes, can I come to this gi class without my gi on? I need to roll and I need to just feel it better that I don't have my gi on. Can I come? And we're like, abso-fucking-lutely, you can come. So he comes. And so I just need to ask you this quick question before I continue this story. You don't like it when dudes come to a gi class with no gi on. What can you do to make that have zero impact on you for the night?
Only when we're drilling. I don't care when we're rolling.
What can you do?
Don't roll with them.
Don't fucking talk to this dude. Don't roll with him. Don't touch him. Don't look at him. Don't say anything to this motherfucker. If he even glances in your direction, grab somebody else.
We've already talked about it. That it's him in one corner, me in the other, and everybody else is
that's
drilling.
Fine. So just stand there for a whole round, right? I mean, whatever.
No,
Work
not rolling.
in threes.
We're drilling.
Work in threes. Let that dude be the odd man out, right? Whatever, right? You can just avoid this dude. So anyway, we get this nasty, terse email after the fact, after this class had ended, that said, listen, I'm very unhappy that this dude was able to train in a gi class with no gi on. It modifies the combat variables, and this is a problem, okay? So, first of all, fuck you and your combat variables, all right? You can't just not grab somebody's lapel for a change and like hook around the back of their head or grab their wrist, right? You can't not pull your dragon tail up and you can do some different shit, right? You can't guillotine a motherfucker in a gi and without a gi on. You can't kimura him, armbar him, right? Shoulder lock, omoplata, whatever you want to do. You can't do any of those things, right? You have to have somebody's lapel in order to do anything jiu-jitsu related. I got one finger for you and I got one on both hands. Boom, right? I'm gonna hit you with two flying birds. So this dude's a fucking piece of shit. So anyway, we ended up booting him out of the gym, not for that sole reason. He was also a douche, a big pet peeve. He would like beat up chicks and we'd look around the room and all we'd hear was, like if I was a little more girly, that would sound like it was coming from girls.
Oh, good enough.
And we look around and this dude's fucking wrecking girls half his size, half his skill level, and who have trained like for 3 days. He's fucking wrecking them. And it's like, dude, what a fucking douche, man. You're a pet peeve. Crazy Asian Mike, you're a pet peeve of mine.
All right. So, hey, I'm going to roll into another one because it's
please.
Bully rollers. So the same thing that you just kind of mentioned, you know, with beating up a girl, like guys who are, again, I understand, especially if you're newer, it's a little different if you're newer, but if you've been there a couple months, this happens a lot with big guys. If you're a big guy, right? Don't spend all your time on top. And again, if you're rolling with if you're a bigger guy and you're rolling with a purple belt and above, you know what? You get on top all you want, right? Because you're just trying to survive. And if you being on top lets you survive, good. The guy needs a little bit better. But if you know, and I have seen higher level belts do this too. And I get sometimes you're a big guy and you still have to work your top game, but you don't need to work your top game all freaking night.
Right.
Like the guys who just want to get on there and they want to win every single roll. So they do whatever they can just to win the roll, right? If you're beating up a guy and you're just dominating him on top for the first, we roll 7-minute rounds. If you're 4 minutes in and you're dominating this guy on top, you know what? Why don't you pull guard real quick? Why don't you let him get a sweep in there? Why don't you do something a little different? You know, instead of just
pet peeve, or is that just like good training? Right?
A little bit of both, right? I mean, it's you, especially when you talk about higher belts on higher belts. What's that?
Do you get bullied now? Are you saying this for you?
No, it's happened in the past.
Okay.
But it's not a huge issue. No, and again, now that unfortunately I'm a purple belt, got to put up with it.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing I can do about it.
Dick
Right.
tuck.
I can't. Yeah. Can't dick tuck anymore.
Yeah.
So, but no. You see guys do that, and you see guys do that, guys consistently with like the same person, and the other way around too. I see guys who are just really good guard players, and they just go right to guard, right to full guard, right to full guard,
Right.
and then it's just like, oh, they sweep them, and then if they don't get the armbar right over, they go right back to full. They somehow get back to full guard purposely. It's like, come on, man. Like, so it's not even just guys that are on top, but guys who just go to the same well nonstop.
Right.
With guys that are, especially guys who are close to your level.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know what I mean? It's not about beating the guys. Like, hey, we're really close to the same, so I'm going to get in my best position so I can win this role.
Right.
Maybe I'll get in my worst position so I can see if I can survive. I can figure out
And
the next thing
you
is.
probably see more of that in the earlier belts
Yeah.
than you do in the later belts. But it still exists. You're absolutely right.
But yeah, it's
You're
more of a pet
absolutely
peeve when
right.
you see it in the higher belts, and you see guys who do it. You're like, oh, come on, man, you know better.
Well, some people are never going to learn, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
some
yeah.
people are just stubborn and
still becomes a peeve.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're
And
right.
nothing worse than this. But nothing worse than seeing a higher belt become a bully.
Agreed.
So people that don't need to be bullies too.
Yeah,
Don't
or bully.
If you got two bigger guys and the
Matter of fact, didn't we talk about a bully prevention program in one of our earlier podcasts?
Yes, we
Call
did.
them. Call them. So I got one for you that I think is going to be controversial. Okay.
Okay.
I don't intend it to be controversial, but I think it's going to be women's only jiu-jitsu classes. Okay. Now let me put some context.
Yeah, put some
around
context
this
because
before
I
you-
completely disagree with this one.
I think women who train in women's only classes are doing themselves a disservice. Okay. And I'll tell you why. What is, and I'm going to ask you this question because I think you're going to answer it appropriately. And even if you don't, we'll get there.
Sure.
What is the point behind a martial art just as a martial art?
Sure. Well, self-defense,
Self-defense, right?
Self-defense.
So whether you're deciding to train self-defense or not,
Yeah.
what gender is doing most of the aggressive attacking against women?
Males.
Okay, so men.
Yep.
So jiu-jitsu is a martial art first and foremost, right? It's a sport. It's the stepping stone for MMA, but a very equivalent and very required subset of the skills that you need to excel at fighting.
Sure.
And if you call
Sure.
fighting MMA, right? MMA fighting.
Yeah, no,
Not necessarily fighting, but self-defense is different than fighting.
I agree, but I think basic jiu-jitsu, whether you're talking sports jiu-jitsu, defense, I think jiu-jitsu is a great base for self-defense.
Sure,
It's
correct.
a great defense for self-defense. Is it
So
the only one? You can get all that,
women
but
who train only with women, and that's what I'm talking about.
yeah. So
Women-
exclusively women
exclusively-
only. Not ones who go to women's only classes and then come back.
And that's fine. I have no problem with that. Right?
Okay.
You want to go train
Well,
with a bunch of chicks because it's your people.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. And I don't have any problem training with women when they're in the gym,
Sure.
training with guys, right? No big deal. Do all of that, right? I do think it's a little bit weird when dudes won't roll with women, but that's a different pet peeve
Sure.
that
Yeah.
I don't even have on my list because it's not worthy to talk about.
I get it, but I don't.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess now in the Me Too movement, and maybe
Even before
guys are
that,
afraid. I don't know.
I think
I'm
there's a
not.
lot of reasons. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Just,
But
like,
I
rolling with
think
it.
women's only classes as an exclusivity bothers me a lot.
So I guess I disagree with this for a couple of reasons. So I agree with you, and maybe this is where we're going to be just
Wait.
crossing hairs.
You agree or disagree?
So yeah, so we're going to be crossing hairs here because when
Okay.
you first say it, you say, "I hate women only
Splitting hairs?
classes." Splitting hairs. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna sword fight.
Okay.
just-
You're gonna have a really big sword. Remember I told you I'd be a terrible queer?
They're hairs.
Remember I told you I'd be a terrible queer? That's part of the reason.
Fair enough.
I'm built like an 11-year-old girl. I want you to know that.
So anyway, so when you first said you say women's only classes,
Yep.
and again, I'm not you, but I've heard other people complain about women's only classes. In
I'm not
general.
complaining. I
No,
think they're
Yeah.
detrimental
Well, I don't think women's
if mutually exclusive.
If they're mutually exclusive, I would agree. I don't think they're I don't think they're detrimental. I don't think they're as effective as also joining in the other classes. So, but as a
false sense of security is detrimental to me,
fair enough, take that.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. But
just like somebody who
some
does
training
Tai
is-
Bo and thinks they're going to be like
some
an
training is
MMA
better.
fighter.
Some training is better than no training, right? If you're doing a lot of Tai Bo, at least you can run away from the people who are attacking you.
You got cardio for
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
You can hit somebody with a Tai Bo kick.
Yeah, you could kick me and run away. I'll never catch you, right? You're fine. If I'm attacking you, Tai Bo's got you. So
If
again,
your mission is to just train with women and you're just doing it to do jujitsu and you have no self-defense aspirations, it's not a bad idea. Get the fuck
Yeah.
off the couch and go train. Agreed.
but you say agreed, and I'm not you in general, but I'm going to
It's
use you. I'm
something.
going to call you out. But
Sure.
I think this is more the mindset.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when you say that, you meant all women's jiu-jitsu a lot of times. And I don't mean to call you out. I feel bad for saying it, but
call me out.
Yeah. So, but you're putting all those asterisks on it now. But when people come out and say, you know, they're touting against the women's only jiu-jitsu, like when people are talking about it after class or talking about it in the bar, you know what I mean? They're just talking about them in general. And I
don't know that that's true.
I do. And again, I fully believe that that's true. And I think the problem is well, two things. One, guys are creepy, right? So again, that entry level, I think women's only classes are needed to get women involved into jiu-jitsu, right? So they can get in there, they can find their own schools. I think they're needed there. Two, I think they're also needed for women to grow in jiu-jitsu. I agree that they should be joining the other classes, but I don't have to worry about the other weird things that guys do. I don't have to worry about a guy looking at me and thinking I'm hot or thinking I'm ugly or judging me. I don't have to think about just all the creepy things.
Yes, you do.
I don't have to worry about it. It's different. It's different for me than it is everybody else. Right?
You get judged all the time. Have you ever looked down at your feet? Jesus Christ.
Just on this podcast.
Okay. Anyway.
But anyways, so I don't have to worry about that stuff. And then them having to worry about, to think about, to have to deal with it. And then when we talked about jiu-jitsu becoming experimental. Know what they were getting into?
This is like dudes who. This is like guys who are in the army and they complain about getting deployed.
No. So they knew what they were getting into. So they I can't think of the right word. So they flipped the script and they said, you know what? Let's take out the creepiness so we can learn some stuff and let's deal with the creepiness when we have to. So again, so you get in there, you learn a little basics, and then you go, okay, let me see if I can defend myself or where I need to learn against that male counterpart, that physical counterpart that I'm not used to dealing with. Okay, I found some of my holes that I need to work out. Let me work through my techniques. Again, in a comfortable environment, and let me go back to that.
You stated my acceptance of that is as long as they're not just only always training with women.
Yeah.
Exclusivity, right?
Sure.
Mutually exclusive training with women or guys. I don't believe, and I hate to say this because it is wrong, but I don't think it does a guy any benefit to train with a woman ever.
Well, I would slightly disagree with that, only because how many times have you trained with a terrible white belt who's 20 pounds lighter than you? That doesn't happen with you a lot probably anymore, but me all the time. Yeah, I'm fat, right? And again, so I can learn technique.
Benefit if you do it against a guy who's 110 pounds or a girl who's 100? What the fuck's the difference?
You can flow roll. You can learn some things. Well, again, no, exactly. There's nothing. So you said there's no benefit. I'm saying
there's no benefit to rolling with a woman.
I think there's a benefit. I think you can work on technique. You can work on placement.
You can't do that with a smaller dude.
You can. I said, but you said. Well, I guess there's no detriment. I guess when you say benefit, there's
what's the benefit?
That roll,
it doesn't hurt you rolling with a woman. Yeah. What's the benefit?
It's the same benefit that you get rolling from. You think there's no benefit for rolling a new guy that you
there's
can whop
no difference between them. So why would I purposely look one out?
Oh no. Right. But there's a benefit. You can get better jiu-jitsu. That's the benefit. You can work on slight small techniques with a woman, just like you could with a young.
It's not the same if you think inversely. The benefit that a woman is going to get training with a guy, a better guy. Let's keep this. Let's define our key terms.
Sure.
GMV shout out. Define our key terms here. I'm not talking about a girl at blue belt always training with the white belts, right?
Yeah.
There's zero benefit to her ignoring a guy and going to train with a girl who's the same size, right? She's not going to get any benefit by skipping the dude, right? She's going to get way more benefit rolling with the dude because two reasons. Naturally, guys are more aggressive, right? On the general scale, guys are more aggressive. And two, they usually have a larger amount of muscle mass, which is going to make it more challenging and physically challenging for them to roll against.
So you just gave me two good reasons, and I hate to interrupt you, but I want to do it. You just gave me two good reasons why she should roll with that girl, right? First of all, one, more aggressive. So if you're talking about someone who's trying to learn jiu-jitsu, we talked about this before. Okay. Too aggressive. Jumping and rolling too hard, white belt, white on white crime, as you called it, right?
She never has to roll with a dude ever.
No, I'm just saying you said there was no benefit. I'm just telling you there is a benefit right there. She's going to be able to roll with someone who's going to be able to keep the same pace that she can, so she can practice the move that works. What's that?
They're a white belt.
You could be a blue belt, right? You work a blue belt girl versus a blue belt guy, right? Sometimes you're going to go with someone who's too aggressive and you don't really learn.
I didn't say that. I just said more aggressive.
No, I agree, but I'm telling you,
more aggressive than them.
You just said there was no benefit. Sometimes there's a reason why you want to go with that girl. So I would disagree with that. Secondly, and I actually, so here's
the proof in the pudding between jiu-jitsu skill, or should you always be prioritizing technical excellence?
No. I think you got to do both. All right. I'm not. I guess I'm not disagreeing. What you're saying isn't fundamentally wrong, but you're and this is you as a person. You're too black and white, right? There is benefit to doing that, but you're right. You do have to do that.
There is no benefit to always training with women.
No. I'd say always. You said there was no benefit for her to train with that woman. There can be a benefit, just not.
Sure, she's going to be training with a bunch of women all the time.
Yeah,
There's a benefit to her just training.
And actually,
but to her go, I'm purposely not going to roll with this guy, regardless of the reason.
Yeah. But also, well, no. Now that I would agree with, but actually, I would disagree with you. Something else. I actually think it's really good if you have a girl who's way better. Say she's a blue or purple belt, right? Okay. So that level, you know what I mean?
Middle of the road.
Middle of roadish. I think they should be rolling with a lot of white belt guys because from a self-defense standpoint.
Why not blue belt guys?
Well, no. I'll tell you why white belt guys. I think you should be rolling with everybody, right?
Okay.
I think you have to learn for everything else. But I think if you're looking from a self-defense test, where a lot of times what you talk about self-defense is effective because you're using it against someone who's not trained.
Sure,
right?
Of course.
Right, and that's the biggest. Obviously, if a blue belt guy is attacking her outside of jiu-jitsu, she's in trouble. She's also a blue belt or a purple belt, right? Just because the size difference and everything else like that. But if you're looking to do self-defense, you've been doing it for a long time, and you're trying to do it as a self-defense, you need to learn against that guy who's seen a couple of UFCs, who's going to be overly aggressive and make those mistakes, and see if your jiu-jitsu really works in those situations. So I'm agreeing with you that
what if he's got one punch knockout power?
Well, then you know what? You're in trouble, right? But you got to find. You can't find. That's a different class, right? We don't teach that.
Yeah. That's like dim mock shit.
Yeah.
We show that only on Wednesday evenings at 11:30. Never.
Yeah. No. But so I agree with you. Yes. Like if you're doing it for self-defense, I'm not disagreeing with
totally opposed to women's classes. What about mutually exclusive? Do you think women should train with women exclusively and only, and never branch out and train with guys?
No, I don't think
so.
That.
We agree.
Yeah, we agree.
We agree.
Like I said, I definitely think we agree.
What about you guys out in podcast world? Do you think that, now, mind you, we did not say that women's classes are bad, that women shouldn't train with women. That's not what we're saying, right? I mean, some people are going to take it to the farthest extreme. That's not what we're saying. I'm saying women's only jiu-jitsu classes are a pet peeve of mine if that's all you do 100% of the time and you never branch out. Now, I'm going to go as far as saying if that's the majority of your training, it still bothers me a little bit. Okay? If that's the majority, if you're like 80-20 women's only classes, that bothers me a little bit. I think you got to roll, right? Gender means really not a lot in jiu-jitsu. You're going to be potentially smaller. You're going to be potentially slower. You're going to be potentially less aggressive. You're going to, we have some chicks who are tough as nails to roll with.
Sure.
And, I want to stress that I'm not saying women's only jiu-jitsu blanket statement. It's women's only jiu-jitsu if that's the majority of her training.
Yeah. No, and
I think we agree on that.
I think we agree on that. I think where the difference really is just, I don't take as hard a stance as you do against, if 80-20 split, that's a big pet peeve for you. For me, it's not really a pet peeve. I get it.
I got you.
So, you know what I mean? I think
and that's why I said it might be controversial. Yeah. It might be something that we don't want to.
Yeah. But yeah. No, that makes sense.
All right, so let me give you one more. And then you go and give me yours. Okay. Dude, the biggest pet peeve in the world. Let me set the stage for you. Okay. I'm rolling with this burly motherfucker. Okay. It's Ghee. He don't got a rash guard on under his gi. And we're rolling. Okay. And we're 5 rolls in for the night. And it's a hard night. Okay. I get mounted. This motherfucker's on top of me. He's playing that floaty style mount, right? I'm trying to escape. Boom. He leans over top of me and I catch a drip in my mouth.
Oh,
bro. I'm telling you.
It's the face in general, but on the mouth.
Dude, I catch a drip of sweat. Now, it's inevitable.
Gonna happen.
Okay. It's inevitable that I'm gonna get some other person's sweat on me. It doesn't change the fact that as far as I'm concerned, me and that dude are the same person now.
Yeah.
I drank his juice, bro. Let me rephrase.
Yeah, please.
I drank his sweat, okay? And it perspirated from him in the heat of combat and dropped directly into my already parched mouth. And
so it was kind of refreshing.
It wasn't refreshing. No, it wasn't
that why
refreshing.
It bothers you so much? Because deep down inside, you're like, oh, that was refreshing, yet nasty.
I'm repressing feelings.
Yeah.
No, it's disgusting.
You don't want to enjoy it, but you did.
It's salty. It's
Savory?
And it's not savory. But I don't know how many dudes this dude rolled with. Maybe that bead of sweat was like 3 dudes deep. And I got like mixtures.
I feel like this is a 90s infomercial anymore.
Whatever. Maybe I got mixtures of
You're
that
not
shit.
just rolling with him. You're rolling with everybody you roll.
Yeah. You know what? It's a huge pet peeve of mine.
So this pet peeve
And
kind of
you
going.
catch it in your ear.
What about the little?
You ever hop out of a pool and still got water in your ear? You got dude juice in your ear, and you're just like, oh, this is fucking disgusting.
Rolling too when you get a little hair in your mouth, like you don't know. Like I got a beard, right? So I can always.
Dude, I don't ever have anyone. I don't ever have my own hair in my mouth.
It's always my own hair.
I don't got none.
Yeah, it's always my own hair. At least that's what I tell myself. Right, but oh god, that's another one. I think they kind of link together, right? Whenever every time I get someone else's possible body fluid or pieces anywhere near my face,
like it's the so let's go back to the other half of this.
Yeah,
the fuck if that dude's dirty as shit.
Yeah,
and I caught the Rat King sweat. And it trickles down my throat as if it's on a lonesome journey down to the inner parts of my dude. That's disgusting. Okay, it's like there's nothing in my imagination. Okay, and I got a vivid imagination. Right, I've done some things in my head that Jesus Christ. Okay, dude, I'm going straight to hell. I just want you to know that. All right, but in like my worst imaginations, I can't think like. It'd be worse if it was ball sweat. If I got like smegma in my.
Those are two totally different things.
Yeah, you're right.
It goes back to the dirty
if
thing.
I got like dick cheese or like smegma and like ball sweat or like ball juice, whatever you want to call it, like in my throat, and I didn't want it. Right, different. If you want it, it's a different conversation. Right, you got a fetish that we need to talk about, but it's disgusting. Okay, and. It's only happened a handful of. One time I got dripped right in my eye socket. Yeah, it was like my fucking eye.
In other words, it gets like in the nose and you feel it coming. You're like, you can't wipe it because you got like a good grip or something. You know, you get an arm bar.
Yeah. And like all you got to do is let that that sweat juice fester on you, and it's like it's in your eye socket.
Wait, we didn't talk about excuse guy, but if a guy like wipes his face or wipes that off so it doesn't get in his mouth, and then you catch him in an armbar and he lets you know, is that a lot? You okay with that excuse then? Because I'll be honest, after having this conversation, I'm okay with that. Right?
I'm a fan of toughing it out. I just want you to know. I'm a fan of toughing it out.
Not with dude sweat on your face. I've changed my mind. I would say I'm a dude for. I think that's the exception, right? You got a bad neck, a bad arm, something like that. No, don't whine about it. You know what? If you had to wipe my sweat off your face so it didn't get in your mouth or your eyeball in that case, you know what? Nope. Legit excuse, I'm in.
Nope. It's different.
Even in a tournament, I'll say let's restart the match because you know what, I understand.
It's different if I'm like drinking the tears of my enemies. That's like a totally different conversation. But I'm only getting sweat on if I'm on the bottom. Okay? I might be on the bottom and like bottom half guard, right? We're a little more neutral, right?
What if you're bottom side control, right? I'm on top of you and then all of a sudden you feel it coming and boom, it hits right here. You don't know it's going to go in your eye. It's going to go in your mouth. You know what? You go up and you're like, I can't handle it. You wipe it off. Boom, there it is.
Americana immediately.
Americana immediately.
What happens if you see it? Like, in my opinion,
that's it. You got to go for it.
The whole world slows down.
Yeah.
And that one bead of potentially 6 dudes' sweat that's culminated over the last 40 minutes starts to like slip down. And right when it gets to the climactic point where it's about to release from your skin and enter and drop,
ages.
As it falls, maybe it's only inches, but it feels like miles. And it's falling miles and miles and miles. And when it makes that final oop, and it drops directly into my mouth or directly into my eye. I've never had one drop into my nose. Surprisingly enough, I got a huge fucking nose, but nothing's ever dropped into my nose.
You never play enough reverse guard. That's why.
That's true. I'm not inverted enough.
Guard, yeah.
But that thing, as it's falling, it's like boom, and it drops right into my mouth. Dude, I'm talking. I've dry heaved a couple times.
Listen, I'm just saying, if it gets on your face, you have to wipe it off mid roll, and I catch you in something, doesn't count. We'll restart the roll. You know what? You convinced me. Before I would have said no.
What kind of man admits to that? Right? I'll be honest.
I think
I talk about that shit on the sly. I'm never admitting to that. Like, oh, you caught me because I was wiping off your disgusting sweat from the inner crevices of my face.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Actually, I'm telling you. You know what? You're just being too manly. If you're not willing to admit that I had to wipe off your nasty sweat off my face. Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought up this next one, right? Before you jump into yours, I know I'm taking over and spitting a whole bunch, but you talked about excuse guy, right? One of my biggest pet peeves in the world is the dudes who go, "Hey, watch my arm, watch my neck," and then like, "Fuck you, don't roll."
Yeah.
Right? Don't roll. Now, some people are going to go, well, can't you just practice your technique on all the other things? What if you're better than me? And you're like, hey, man, we're going to roll, watch my neck. Fucker, I can't catch you in that shit.
Watch my neck. That's a lot of movesets.
That takes away a lot of things.
I can't triangle you.
Am I allowed to grab your neck and like control? Like what happens if I pull your gi too hard and I jostle your neck of some kind? Right? It's just, to me, don't roll with me if you're going to give me an excuse.
No.
Roll with somebody who you don't need to give the excuse to because you're light years better and you work on shit rather than you force me to work on shit. That bothers me. That's a big pet peeve of mine. And my go-to recently is you can tap early.
Yeah. Well,
you can tap. If I grab it, tap early.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you an opportunity to best me. Now, I'm a black belt, so I will, we'll high five and pound and I'll do some other shit. But that's not fair if I was a blue belt and you're a brown belt.
Yeah.
And you're just like, hey, man, I know, like.
Two black belts. If you roll with another black. And again, depending whether he's coming
even
in.
Or better. It bothers me.
Especially if that guy's going to roll hard. It's different. You're like, hey, I have a bad neck. We're going to flow roll. We're going to do that.
It's totally different. Like, I had a torn groin for a really long time. It never once did I ever say, watch my groin, guys. It was, people would ask. People are very cautious.
Yeah.
They're very loving and kind, right? And we train with, I've never met bad people in jiu-jitsu as long as I've been training, I can say that. I've never met like huge douches in jiu-jitsu who I've trained with regularly. They've been kind of, hey, how's your groin? I'll tap early. That's my go.
Yeah.
I'll tap early. You don't worry about, you do you. I'm going to try not to let you get there, but you do you. If we get there, I'll tap, no problem.
Yeah.
But the guys who go, dude, watch my neck, watch my arm, watch my fucking left kidney because it hurts right now.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, my left fallopian tube seems to be, it has a little bit of sand in it. Can you please make sure that you don't jostle that sand into my ovaries and, turn me into a leper or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. It bothers me a lot.
I would agree. And it's funny because as a guy who I have terrible elbows, right? And if I
never go, hey, watch my elbows. You tap.
I'll tap early. And if I say, hey, watch my elbows, attack my elbows, I will tap earlier than most people. I just want you to know.
Just be ready for my wince, squeal, grimace. Yeah.
True it was, but somebody one time caught me in an arm bar and I tapped right away. He goes, your arm wasn't even straight yet. I was like, I know, it already hurt. Right.
I know what's coming.
Yeah.
I've been here before.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was over with. And that kind of leads into another one, because I know we're probably running short on time here. It's guys who don't tap when you have them caught.
Bro.
So, like, listen, I get it. If we're rolling hard and it's tournament style based, obviously not too close to a tournament, which is a different pet peeve.
Sure.
But if you're rolling hard, we're like, hey, we're doing a hard rolling, we got a tournament in 3 months. We're going to do some hard rolling for the next month and a half, and then we're going to, ease into the tournament or whatever. Like, if that's fine. But if I have you locked into an arm bar, right, and you're toughing it out because you don't want to tap, like, that's detrimental to me because I don't want to be the jerk who has to pop that hard a little harder and then hurt you, right? Or I have to be careful. I have to, is my technique working right? I have to adjust it to get you to tap. Or I have to be very, very careful. Then you get out and get a big head about it because, like, if I wanted to, I would have broke your arm, right? But I was being the good partner. You weren't. You knew you were caught, right? And I gave you the opportunity. It's one thing, I've done it before where I pushed a little bit hard and guys have, tweaked it a little bit farther, or they were nice and they've not done it occasionally. But guys who do that consistently, it's like, come on, man.
And I think that's the right word.
Tap.
The consistent,
sure.
The consistent trying to tough it out.
Yeah.
It's different if we're rolling and maybe we have that unspoken gameness that we decided when we high-fived and hard pounded, right, and hurt your knuckles. And you know
breaking
what?
Your arm.
You're like, yeah. You're like, dude, we're fucking throwing down, right? But it's a friendly throw down. And you're like, maybe I'm going to hold out on this a little bit longer than I normally would just because this is a game roll.
Yeah.
But the dudes who consistently do that, but you always know who they are because they're injured more frequently. They're not training enough because they're always, holding out arm bars. It's just, I agree. Big pet peeve.
It's just, and a lot of times we go to a good gym again. So there's one guy that does this all the time and nobody hurts him because they know it. So they work around him.
I'm going to hurt him. Don't tell me. Fine. I'm going to hurt him.
So, but yeah. And again, it's different with arm locks than it is chokes, right? You can hold out a little longer. You can do those kind of things because if I'm squeezing your neck, I'll just, worst case, I mean, obviously it's bad if you put somebody out, but I'm not thinking about.
Is it? How bad is it?
What's that?
I just went out not too long ago.
I mean, I guess it
like
can
2
be
weeks
bad.
ago.
I've only been choked out once, so I don't really know how bad it is.
So I'm going to set the stage for you. I know you want to finish this, but I'm going to set the stage for you. So I'm rolling with this chick, right?
This is why Scott doesn't like chicks.
So I'm rolling with this chick, right? That's exactly why I don't like her. So I'm rolling with this chick, right? She's a younger girl. She's been training a few months, and it's really nice, fun to roll with. Aggressive, rolls really hard. We're rolling, and she's in side control, and we're messing around, and She catches me in an arm triangle, okay, like the position, but she's on the wrong side of the body, right? She's on the wrong side, and she gets my arm. So she climbs over to mount, and she goes into side control, and she hits this arm triangle, right? She got a nice one, and I'm getting a little shoulder, right? And I'm thinking to myself, whatever. I'm going to help her when she's done and she lets go how to fix this. And then all of a sudden, I hear, Scott, wake up, Scott. And I come to, and I'm like, that was really tight. I was like, you did an excellent job. She goes, you weren't out, were you? And I was like, I was only unconscious. I was like, I tried to tap when I saw black. I don't know if it worked. She goes, I didn't feel you tap. She's like, I just let go because I thought it wasn't working. So I'm out cold in the middle of the match.
I was there. She was so worried. The look on her face,
yeah,
like she felt terrible.
I'm out. And it's like,
I was chuckling hard as I could at the corner. I just want you to know that.
I don't mind going out. I'm trying to be a good training partner, and we were rolling. So it's not like I was trying to help her out at all.
Could have tapped early.
I'm trying to see if she can set it up, right? And it's my bad, not hers. Don't get me wrong. Completely my bad.
Do you feel more like a douche because you were like, I'm going to tell her how to fix this, and the next thing you know, you're asleep? Right? Clearly, she didn't need any help.
In my head, I feel not like a douche at all because what she was doing was wrong.
Yeah.
Her adjustment
was right.
Was very right.
Yeah.
So she fixed it herself.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to show her anything afterwards. But if she wouldn't have got it, I'd have been like, here, maybe you could have done this to get better, whatever. You know what I mean? But her adjustment just
was
worked.
Right. Yeah.
And dude, her little bony or shoulder blades, boom, pop right into my neck. I'm out cold. Yeah. Not laying there. I'm out. I've only been out like twice in my whole entire jiu-jitsu life. And the other one was a girl too. I'm stuck inside her triangle and she didn't even have a good triangle. It was really, really loose. All of a sudden, I'm out. I'm sleeping with the fishes, man. I'm out.
Oh, it's only happened to me once. It was in a fight, though, so it was real embarrassing because I had an audience.
Oh, man. You went out in an MMA fight? How'd that go down?
So
were you just getting wrecked the whole time?
I was getting wrecked the whole fight, right?
Okay.
So I was getting wrecked.
Was this like the first round, second round, third round?
Third round.
Third round?
Yeah.
How many minutes were left?
3 minutes. Oh, and it was probably halfway through the round, I think.
Okay.
Right. And don't get me wrong. This was...
So you're like 87.5% of the way through this fight.
Yeah, so this is 7.5 minutes, right? So there's 3 minute rounds.
Yep.
So say this is 7.5 minutes of me getting the crap kicked out of me.
Okay.
So this was not a good night for me.
Okay.
And so I'm getting the crap kicked out of me.
How old was the kid you were fighting? Was this the young kid?
Younger.
Everybody
was younger.
You're
20s.
Right. You're right.
Right. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
You were like 35?
Yeah, it was my last fight.
Okay.
So I was 34, right before
34?
I turned 35.
Okay. Yeah.
He was in his mid 20s. He was like 6-1 at the time. I'm gonna hype him up real good because he beat the shit out of me. And so anyway, so I think I went for a terrible takedown. I don't remember, because I wasn't taking this kid down. I went for a terrible takedown, and somehow he ended up on top. I don't even know how I think he ended up on top and then ended up rolling into the triangle.
Side control or
I don't remember. Like I think mount and then like I don't remember. It was terrible. Like I don't know how I got in his triangle.
Do we need to like hypnotize you to get to the bottom of this?
It's on YouTube, right? You can watch that, but I can't remember what happened.
I'll post those in the
Yeah. I don't know how I ended up in his guard. Because he was kicking the shit out of me. He purposely got into his guard.
Do you have a concussion of any kind?
No. I just why I'm so much
Your
uglier.
Your face was all beat up.
Oh,
I remember
it was terrible.
that.
It was
Holy
terrible.
Shit.
But anyways, so he's got it, and I feel okay, and I'm like, I got to get out of this. I get on top. It's my only chance, right? If I get on top, maybe get, you know what I mean, pass guard. On the ground, I had a chance.
Sure.
Right? So I was like, all I got to do is get out of here. And it's getting tighter, and it's getting tighter. And I'm like, oh, damn, I got to get out of this. And I pick my hand up the tap, and then I'm waking up.
Oh, shit.
And
so you're in the cage.
Yeah.
In front of a studio audience.
I'm in front of an audience, right?
Right.
This dude's got a cheering section,
we're talking
too.
like 5,000 people, 10,000 people?
No.
What are we talking?
I have no idea. Maybe 1,000, maybe.
More than 9, of course. It's not like you got choked up.
Listen, it was his entire
what
family.
Was it, triangle?
Triangle.
You got caught in a triangle, you pussy?
Yeah, I got his entire family was there, though.
This was Ohio, though, so there was no foot pads or anything, right? This was
neither shin pads.
Oh, you still had shin pads on?
No shin pads. No, you're right. No shin pads.
Motherfucker, you were there. I wasn't.
I can't
shin pads
remember.
or not?
No shin pads.
Okay.
No. There's just no kicking to the head.
Yeah.
Right. That was
okay.
So it looked,
amateur rules.
Amateur. It looked like a fight. It doesn't matter. It looked like a one-sided fight. It looked like a gang.
So you were mauled.
It looked like a gang initiation because he just beat the crap out of me.
Dude.
There was nothing else going on.
Damn.
Right?
He's in the gang though. No.
Yeah. No. I'm in the gang because he beat the crap out of me.
Yeah, got it.
Sorry.
Got it.
Yeah. Those kind of gang. Yeah. But out cold. The only time I was ever choked on cold, jiu-jitsu related.
How long did it last?
Probably 10 seconds.
So when I go out, I wake up and I immediately feel like I need to throw up.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
No, I woke up. You ever wake up in the morning? You wake up, but you still have your eyes closed. and you're like, oh, you kind of then you open up your eyes.
I thought that was one of the like must-have characteristics of waking up is opening your eyes.
No. So I've like woken up from a sleep and like still had my eyes closed, right, for the like a split second. And so I have that, then you wake up and you see your alarm, you see what time it is, right?
Yeah.
So I have my eyes closed and I'm waking up and I'm expecting to see my phone to see what time it is or something like that. And I wake up to a referee standing in my face and my first words were, "Oh yeah, I was in a fight, wasn't I?"
Like you said that?
I said that out loud. He goes, "Yes, sir, you were."
Oh, interesting.
And so actually, there's a little funnier on the story. And so, they make sure I'm okay and everything else. And
right.
I get the shit kicked out of me.
You're
I choked
woozy?
unconscious. No, not woozy anymore. I'm still I'm laughing at myself mostly because I thought I was waking up from a nap from the morning.
You got highlight reeled.
I thought I was waking up, right? And then I talked to the I was in a fight.
You thought you were about to hear birds tweeting in the outside your window.
So I'm in shock, and there's a picture with us, him having his hand raised, and I've got this huge shit-eating grin on my face for whatever reason. I have no idea why. Right? He's got this shit
you're a
kicked out
good
of me
loser. It's fine.
for 7.5 minutes, and I look happy.
You're a good loser.
And then so he posted on Facebook. If one of his like family members or buddies like, "Did you kick the shit out of that guy so bad he's silent?" Yes, he did. As it turned out.
That's awesome.
So, anyways, in that same vein, one of my best pet peeves. So there's nothing
Give me
worse.
the last one.
You know what? I got two more.
Okay, yeah, two more.
There's one. This one is quite serious. So it's really there's nothing worse than when you got a guy who's got your back real good, and then all of a sudden the third hook comes in.
Oh Jesus Christ! He hits you with an Asian poison dart. The third hook goes in. Maybe this is why we need more women's only jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, this is exactly why. I think I'm making my own point here.
The third hook. Oh,
so really, just like we should have done with this podcast, there's nothing worse than guys who stop drilling too early. So the opposite of this podcast, way too late.
Wait a minute. We're backing up. We're backing up. So, back control with a third hook.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like a targeted chub, like rubbing across your back? What are we talking about? Like, what exactly does the third hook mean?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I was running out of ideas when I was doing some research on this one, and I came across this on a Reddit post, and I wish I had wrote the guy's name down because I'd like to give him a shout out.
Shoot that dude a shout out.
I laughed so hard that I wrote it down.
You're gonna have to find him and send him a link to this podcast. Maybe we'll get one listen there.
Yeah, that's two. My mom's listening again.
Yeah, Dorothy. Yep. Hi, Dorothy. Damn, dude. So nothing's worse than when you got your back taken and the third hook slides in.
Yeah.
Oh,
no matter where it slides to, whether it's ankle control, whatever.
So Forrest Griffin in his book refers to checking the oil as the Asian poison dart. So is this close to that? Because I know when I take somebody's back, unless I'm in like Matrix guard or something, I'm not like under that area-ish. Right?
Not true. You're a tall
I'm not
guy.
Under the butthole. I'm not under the butthole.
Listen, you're a lot taller than I am. If you go for my choke, you tend to, go.
I'm not by your butthole.
You're ear to ear, man. I bet if we stood up right now.
I'm ear to ear, but my wiener's not by your butthole.
I bet if I sit on your lap right now.
Bro, of course, if you sit on my lap.
Your ear's right next to my ears.
When I have your back, though, I'm behind you.
No, man, you're
not on top of me.
You like to pull me on top and then roll me over on my belly.
I already told you I'd be a terrible gay, okay? I just want you to know that. For multiple reasons. This is just one, all right? All right, so what was it? What was it? Jesus Christ. You turned this podcast into gutter trash, Kevin.
Okay, you know what? Fine.
Whatever.
Fine. People who stop drilling too early.
Oh, dude.
Nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
Like we're 6 moves in, right? Oh, I didn't realize you're a third-degrry black belt and you can stop drilling this move all of a sudden.
I used to say that all the time.
God damn.
We'd be doing a seminar, and Rune and I would always partner up together, right? Because we both have similar thoughts when we're at a seminar. I'm going to drill till he says do something else. So we'd often look around the room and see dudes quitting and be like, oh, when did he say stop drilling? Oh, he didn't. And just like call him out a little bit. But we'd say it loud so everybody heard.
Good thing I paid $125 to watch other people roll.
Right. Wow.
Like, what the fuck? Practice the move the guy just showed you.
Right?
Come on, man.
Obviously, you went there for a reason to learn some shit. How about you learn and do some shit?
Yeah.
And go from there. But yeah.
You get it through osmosis. That's fine. I didn't realize
Huge
that.
pet peeve of mine. Now, I'm outside of seminars, I hate drilling. Okay? And let me elaborate a little bit more on that. I hate slow, staticky drilling. There's not too many moves that I need to learn from scratch. So that slow, methodical, systematic drilling, just I'm so bored from it.
Well, again, so and there's different situations, right? And again, you're a black belt, I'm a purple belt,
Right.
right? I'm not drilling with a lot of black belts.
Right.
So, and again, if you stop drilling in class and you're going to help other people, right? I'm fine with that. That defeats one of my other pet peeves that I don't like when
Right.
high level people don't help out,
right?
But if you're a purple belt or less, I don't even say brown belt, but you know what? I won't judge anybody higher belt than I am.
Sure, good call.
Right? If you're a purple belt or less, right?
You should be drilling.
You should be drilling. You should be drilling.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Listen,
Right.
you did it. That's why you're a black belt, because
Right.
you put in the time for the drilling.
Reasonable.
Yeah, you should not stop drilling. And I'm not saying, and again, I'm not one of those guys who says, oh, you should just be drilling, doing nothing else. As you know more than anybody, it can be very conversational while we're drilling.
Oh yeah, we have fun.
Right? Have some fun. You can be loud. You can talk about other things.
Yeah.
You can bring
as long as you're drilling the moves.
but drill the move.
Yeah.
Like don't stop.
Now,
Cold
some
start
people
and
have
sit.
a pet peeve when you're focused on other things other
sure.
than the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So people would probably be bothered by us
But
drilling.
that's why it's not on
regularly.
our list.
Right. Exactly.
Fuck those people.
That
They're
ain't a
wrong.
pet peeve for me.
Yeah.
Goddamn right. So, in summary, there's a lot of shit in jiu-jitsu that bothers me. Okay? There's a lot. And it sounds like for you, there's a lot of real petty shit that bothers you.
That's
Listen,
a pet peeve. Yeah.
If you high five and pound Kevin too hard, you're written off, okay?
Done.
The book is closed. You're dead to him permanently. Okay?
Unless you're really good, then
unless
I
you're
want to
really
learn some
good,
more
then I
moves.
want to learn some jiu-jitsu. So what are your pet peeves out there in podcast world? Post them on Facebook, post them on Instagram, whatever.
Hit them up in the comments on YouTube.
Hit them up in the comments on YouTube. I think my last video podcast with Corey had one comment, and Corey responded. So it was.
I think we've made it when someone makes a video reaction to our podcast.
I like it.
So guys,
Dude,
someone make a video
somebody
reaction.
make a video reaction and post it underneath on YouTube, or on Instagram. Right, post it on Instagram.
Make it a Facebook
tag us,
story. Whatever you
make
gotta
it a
do.
Facebook story. That'd be so legit. Anyway, I don't want to pander for listens, Kevin.
Oh, I do.
You and the Rat King might want to
Please.
pander. I'm not a panderer, okay? I'm not a panda or a panderer, right? I almost said panda in the first place. That would have been so stupid. Anyway,
Would have fit for today.
it would have fit for today. So I think we've learned a handful of things, okay? One, I'd make a terrible queer, okay?
Two, we're very petty people.
Two, you're a very petty person.
True.
I hold grudges a long time, but that's different.
That's a different
okay?
podcast.
But there is some shit in jiu-jitsu that if you guys are listening and you don't want to be on the pet peeve list,
Buy a gi.
buy a gi and wear it to the gi class. How do you feel about gis at no gi classes?
I'm okay.
Different conversation.
I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
I cannot grab it.
Because nobody's ever going to do that.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, you have to. It's additive.
Also, if you
when
have
put
enough
a gi on.
shoulder hair and don't wear a gi, I'm fine too. I can grab onto that shit like a lapel.
You know what? We've hit time, but let me tell you one more. Okay, this bothers me a lot. That like 5 o'clock shadow, and those motherfuckers want to grind. Oh, bro, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
You remember like when I was younger, my grandpa used to we'd go visit my grandpa after school and shit, and he would shave right before he went to the salt mines. Right? You know what I mean? Your grandpa never worked on the salt mines. Come on, man.
He was a steel mill guy himself. But keep going.
And you'd go over and you go to give him a hug, and he rubs his 6 p.m. shadow all over your face, and it like scratches, and it feels like he's hitting you with sandpaper. Dude, I fucking hate that at jiu-jitsu, bro. Well maintained. Be well. Like now, I also
It's
have
okay to have the shadow, but just don't rub it against me.
Right. Don't.
Right? And I'll be honest, it's not. It's you brought up a great point.
It's totally inadvertent most of the time too. I don't think people come in to do that.
Some people that do.
We knew some dude who wore a cup like over his nuts, and he would like purposely post it on your face in mountain shit or in like north south.
I've heard a lot of like steel cups for arm bars and stuff.
He'd drop it on your forehead and shit, and you'd be like, "Why is this dude got a 15-inch dick and is it laying on my forehead?" And it's his cup, right? I mean, sorry, Kevin, it's his cup, but it's like, oh my god, why would people like that? Just bothers me, and that's probably more just me whining than anything else. But we've met before. I'm a whiner.
I'll be honest, it's not so much the feel of him grinding. I don't want to feel like I'm cuddling with another man at jiu-jitsu, and face-on-face action will do that to me.
I don't mind it.
Okay.
I don't mind cuddling.
Fair enough.
Dude, I'm a hugger, bro. Anyway. All right. Everybody out there in podcast world, post your pet peeves. Let's talk about them. Maybe in a future podcast, we'll have some guests. Shoot us some videos, right? Ask us some questions. right? If you want to be on the podcast, let us know. We'd be happy to have you on.
No, we weren't pandering.
I'm just asking people to join us.
Oh, fair enough.
Right? I don't want them to listen. I just want them to join the podcast. Totally different.
If you're popular and can bring other people to listen, let us know.
All right. Tag along. Okay. Anyway, so that's a list of just some of the pet peeves. There's so many more we didn't even get a chance to talk about.
A lot.
And dude, I'm still, your feet are at the top of my list. Anyway, everybody out there in podcast
Rubber
world,
guarding tomorrow.
thanks for listening, and be on the lookout for the next episode. See you guys.